My name is Jerry Robinson. I teach at Thornapple Kellogg High School, that's in Middleville, Michigan. I am a social studies teacher. I primarily teach world geography, civics, and street law. This learning activity is a European vacation. What I have the students do is I have them research and search on the internet for real flights, real hotels, real car rentals, real train fares, so that they can go out and they can actually find what it would take to make a trip to Europe. So if they're going to go this summer and plan a trip to Europe, they'd be able to find out what it would really cost them to do this, their hotels, their airfares. I also have them look for historic sites, things that they might want to see, or at least things I want them to see when they go to Europe. The goals and the objectives are basically, we have just finished up with the European unit. We've traveled throughout Europe and Eastern Europe into Russia, and I wanted them to get a chance to experience other than the book material, what they read about the Eiffel Tower or what they read about the London Bridge. Give them a chance to go out there and see it and different photos of it instead of just one photo from the book. It also gives them an opportunity to say, this looks kind of neat, I might want to go there. What do I got to do to get there? That's when it comes into showing the airline prices, their flights, how difficult it is to book flights and hotels and things, and so they can plan those things out. I assess the students' learning in several different fashions, one of which is a grading rubric which the group fills out. I'm not always able to be right where the group is, or I'm not able to see how well they intertwine with each other and how well they talk and figure things out. So I have them fill out a grade sheet, including themselves in the grade, based on 100 points. There's 4 categories in which they look at, and they base the students. Afterwards, I will then add up the scores of the 3 group members or the 4 group members and average them out. That's their group grade. Then there's also a grade by me. If I have to get on someone, or I have to say, you need to stay here and focus on your computer or stay in your project, these are things that I see. And if I have to do that, I will deduct points from them. There's also a storyboard in which they must create beforehand before they can start working in the PowerPoint presentation. And with that, it's kind of an outline of what they're going to do beforehand. So they don't go in there going, okay, this is neat, where do I go from here? They've kind of already got it planned out. And the last part of the rubric is a presentation grade. They will present their information on the video monitor to the class, and as they are presenting, I will go through and check to make sure they have hit all the areas I've assigned them, to make sure that their flow is good, their content is good, their creativity is good. It's to see how their finished product is, and that's where I get their final 50 points for that. It fits real well in the course outline. We are in the middle, we go from country to country, continent to continent, and right now we've just finished up the European continent and Russia. And so it gives them an opportunity to go out and have a real life experience with Europe, to see what sites are out there. The book doesn't talk a whole lot about things like the Eurorail and how it's the major mode of transportation is a train there. But they found that out, that it's really hard to find roads and to travel to cities, that the train is a lot more inexpensive and it's a lot nicer to travel and you can get there faster. So those are some things that they didn't realize. They also didn't realize how old the buildings were in the area. They're used to us and seeing things that are 20, 30, 50, 100 years old. Well, when you go in and you see a castle that was built in 1492, they're going, whoa, that's kind of old, it's kind of neat. And so it kind of gives them a little more of a direct experience when they find out information about the historical sites they visit. I've taught this learning activity 2 years ago. I did do a few different things from last time. We had HyperStudio available at that time, and I used HyperStudio and I used PowerPoint as well. This year I eliminated the HyperStudio component. We don't use that very much in the building anymore, so I focused on that. We also did PowerPoint 2000, which gave them a few more tools that they could use. I think seeing kids that normally don't excel in bookwork or test really bring out their creativity into the computer project. They can really get into it. They're cyber geeks or whatever. They really like to get in and look at the computer. That's their forte. And so it kind of gives them their chance to excel. I had a lot of kids who were really excited with the Photoshop. They were able to take their pictures and cut them out and use the magic wand to eliminate any kind of background, and then they put them in their sites just like they were at the Berlin Wall, and it just really made them excited. They were kind of like, oh, this is cool, this is neat. And then when they said that, it kind of made me feel good too. Some of the components from the model that are highlighted in the video are going to be from the democracy stage. The power sharing, I know there was one group that had difficulty with that. Somebody wanted to control the mouse and the keyboard the entire time, so I had to take and talk to the group and make sure that, okay, I said, well, okay, one day you work with the mouse, next day he works with the mouse. That kind of helped filter that. I also had some other groups that who were best of friends who started arguing and bickering about how things should be done. And I basically, in that group, I actually had to take them and set them aside as a group and say, hey guys, You need to work together as a team. If you don't work together as a team, your grade's not going to be very valuable on this.